Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I would like to inform Honorable Uweri. As I stated earlier, this law is targeting very few individuals. And looking at the other paper now, you clarified.
Yes.
It means by this week or next week, the law will be passed. Aware that one of the opposition leaders now is out of the country, and government assumes that the opposition leaders who is out of the country may come back immediately and he may lobby huge amount of money. And what the government is fighting for, by the time Bobi Wine arrives to Uganda, the law should be in place. So you are targeting very few individuals, which is very wrong.
Honorable Olanyah,
I want to give.
You were given permission to inform, but
of activity that we do.
Honorable Olanyah,
depends on
the
the
Attorney
interest.
General firmly said, if it is in the interest of the committee to define, it is your responsibility.
Yes,
So
Mr. Chairman, that's why I'm saying his
it has
explanation.
been given to you.
Mr.
So,
Chairman, you wait first. His explanation is dwelling majorly everything was referred on foreign interest. Aware that we are dwelling majorly on foreign interest. For example, the World AIDS Organization, we have the foreign interest of stopping the spread of HIV by 2031. We have the foreign interest in promoting quality education.
So what is your point?
All our interests are foreign. So that's why I'm saying we need to define foreign interests well. And finally, Mr. Attorney General,
Honorable Olanyah,
finally, let me finish.
Many of the things you're saying were actually asked, and if you allowed me to finish,
To conclude, it
I
would
would
be
be able
much
to
better.
answer.
I would like to get the clarification from you. Aware that Netherlands government sponsored iPod heavily and massively. I would like you also to clarify on that, whether that was interference. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Attorney General, please
Chair,
conclude.
with your flexible compared to how we proceed with others. Why? Because he's our legal interpreter as well. That's number one. And number two, by occupation, this is his bill. And there are some technical inputs that we would need from him before he disappears.
Before he takes leave, he won't disappear.
He might disappear from the committee room, and we're going to go into the writing, to retreat into writing.
Then let's give him a chance.
I am only asking, in clause 2D, 2D, or throughout the bill, would it not help if we simply clarified that we are prohibiting activities that are adverse to the interests of the country, other than using blanketly the word foreign, as if everything foreign is bad. And then I think when he gets to answering my questions, he will answer on where the interests are mutual, because they could be foreign interests and Ugandan interests as well. But why don't we include the word adverse?
The adverse. Okay. And the technical people are capturing. Honorable.
Lobbying for funds to contest as the president of this country. Let me hope I am not supposed to register, because it is our policy to promote democracy.
Yes, but clause 2.2 has told you, in the promotion of your democracy, you should get the promotion of the democracy. Yes, you can get some support from outside, but much of the support should come from Uganda. So, promote democracy.
This time I'll help the Attorney General. Actually, the answer lies in 2.2a. If what you're going to promote is engaging in political activities in Uganda for or in the interest of a foreigner, you go to General Tafiri for permission.
Yes.
A quick one, Honorable Chair. Actually, in line to what Honorable Jan stated, I wanted the Attorney General to be clear. Faith-based organization. I remember when we were making the NGO amendment, we were very clear. Where does it leave the faith-based organizations?
Thank you, Honorable Keyo. That's
are
exactly
they catered for? Are they not covered in the law?
So,
and that's
we'll leave that to the committee. If you think it is okay for faith-based organizations to participate in politics, in the interest of foreigners, the committee has the power to allow them. Because you see, this act is talking about specific activities which are not for faith-based organization. But if the committee thinks that is perfectly fine for a faith-based organization to participate in politics in the interest of a foreigner, we can exempt them. No, what I'm saying is that these faith-based organizations are already exempt from this law because for them they don't participate in politics. They don't solicit money for the benefit of the foreigners. If they do, well, what we are saying here is, for me, the faith-based organization that I know doesn't do it. So, pardon?
I'm asking whether, so, I mean, I think now you've clarified that this is purely political.
It is political,
if
social.
The faith-based organizations are going to solicit for funds in the interest of foreigners, then they can. If the politicians are, then they cannot. Is that
no,
what
what we are telling you is that the law as it is written now, even faith-based organizations should not solicit for funds for purposes of supporting a foreign policy here. But I'm saying, if the committee thinks that it is prudent to exclude the faith-based organizations, then they may be able to do so. But for us, the way we've written it, we have said, no, if it is a foreign interest, none of us Ugandans should participate in it, whether faith-based company, whatever. Don't do it. While you're introducing the bill now, I'll leave that to the chairperson of the committee because, Honorable Olanyah, I am here by invitation of the committee. And as I had been advising, I have many things that
we invited you because you sent us a bill.
Yes. So for me, I sent the bill.
Asking why did you send it now?
Like I have so many other bills on the order paper today. Our business didn't stop. This is part of our business. Now, the issue of FDI, colleagues, let us not, and I'm going to say this in a way which I'm looking for the best way to put it across. Uganda is poor. Uganda needs aid. Uganda must get aid in order for it to survive. And therefore, we must take aid, whatever the consequences are. Committee colleagues, we need to be careful. We must not receive money for whatever money we need because we are poor. Therefore, we get money to corrupt our morals, determine our destiny. That's what we are saying here. We are not saying we don't want FDI. We are saying let it come. We want foreign direct investment. And it has been coming. But we are saying if it is coming for these purposes in clause 2.2, if it is coming for the purposes of clause 2.2, please don't bring it. Colleagues, Uganda does not need the money at any cost. There must be a point, I was sharing here, if we were allowed to speak vernacular, there were vernacular ways of expressing what you need to do at any cost, that you can get anything at any cost. You may end up selling more than you can give. So yes, this law is not for purposes of stopping FDI. In fact, if there's, pardon? No. I think that's, it may be misunderstood. But what I'm saying is that this law is not about, in fact, if this law has, in your view, the consequence of stopping aid, then we need to rethink it. But if it has the consequence of allowing, if it has the consequence of stopping unwanted aid, then you may want to think about it. So what we are saying here, you need to strike a very neat balance between growth and your security. For example, if we say it's okay for people to recruit, enter into partnership and recruit people, like we say in D, recruit people to promote the interests of a foreigner. For example, we have not had a war here. We've not had a rebel group which has not been supported. externally. If we are saying it's okay for us to allow people to recruit for the interest of a foreigner, then that's what the parliament and what we think, but we can find common consensus as a country and say, we are happy to live with it, let's go on with it. So this law is saying, no, if you want to recruit for purposes of supporting a foreign interest, please don't bring it here. That's what the law is saying. So it is...
Chair and Attorney General, could that resonate?
What's that? Which point is that? Are you raising on a specific point or just interjection?
On the same, and I'm seeking clarity.
It's me, I would rather have the devil I have than bringing a new angel, as long as I'm going to be destabilized. But the point we're making is at the level of receiving the money, the current practice, even without law, but I think now there is law, being the Anti-Money Laundering Act, which requires the banks, before they even allow this money onto my account, I'm required to explain
Declare
and
source.
even prove, declare the source. And someone has been bounced back, which I also find outrageous. If it has come, why do we bounce it back? Let the government take over, take the money. But my question is, one, delaying transactions. Two, is where the minister does not even have timelines.
That is now a function of law. We can now put, if you have asked for permission from the minister, I think now the onus is on us.
Why would I even ask for permission? Because even permission itself, meaning that what I am doing is illegal until the minister says it's not.
Yes, Honorable
Chair.
General, a moment, then I get you.
To add something on what Honorable Ssegona was stating.
Okay.
Chair, actually you have said we can cap the period.
Yes.
But I also wanted to know, appeal system.
It can never be forever.
If the minister is delaying and whatever, don't I have a system where I can appeal, maybe High Court, maybe Chief Magistrate's Court?
That is it. Again, that is within your powers. Honorable Mohozi.
Bureaucratization of what we want to achieve. The aspect of the checks before the fact, which the Attorney General alluded to, not after, when things have gone bad. But also the bigger worry of the committee was, what if the minister abuses his power? So what better way, if not the minister? I think that we should leave to the committee. If you think the minister is overweight with this responsibility, which is going to be frequent, then what better way can it be addressed?
But also looking at the volumes, I want us to avoid making an idle law. When the Land Act was passed, I was not in Parliament, and the people where a Chibanja holder goes to the landlord, requests for permission to sell his interest, made provision for 6 months. Then they said the permission shall not be unreasonably withheld, and so on and so forth. Just look at a practical situation where somebody wants to make a transaction, the minister takes ages to provide a response. That's number one. And for me, I know that what I'm doing is lawful. But let's even assume the money is for a political activity, and I want the minister to approve. As Honorable Kahonda said, Kahonda is asking for permission from General Tafire to conduct lawful political activity. But the person seated in that office deems it unlawful. I am coming from a background where we had our peaceful demonstrations. We formed a 4GC, for God and my country. The minister declares it, what do you call it? A terrorist organization or association. Then you go through that process. The person says, no, whatever you're going to do is illegal because you are so and so. Who simply refuses to act. I think let me be particular. Maybe you will understand this better. We have a colleague in town who wrote an article in the Monitor and said that his mother went to the Minister of Finance back then to request for permission to buy foreign exchange, take her husband for cancer treatment out of this country. She went there 3 times and she would be told the minister is not in good mood. The fourth time, she enters, the minister got the papers and tore them, threw them in a dustbin without looking at them. I want to avoid creating a minister of that kind. Why do you insist
What's
on
your
that?
proposal?
My proposal is, first, let the money come. It will not be released because the practice is they will not allow it into your account. They will
Banks
not allow
will
it.
not release.
They will not. We can make a law to that effect. That's number one. Number two, we must also cap the minister's
Powers.
power and exercise of discretion. Within how long?
Yes,
Number
that's
three,
now what we is.
when you're talking about solicitation, at the time of solicitation, I actually do not know whether I will get this money. Because NGOs in this country write proposals. You're simply writing a proposal. You're now telling an NGO that it cannot even write a proposal. You understand? Because the determination of what will be foreign interest will be a decision of one person who is enforcing the law. Did you write this? In my interpretation, this was promoting a foreign interest. Anyway, I wanted to throw this to the Attorney General from a technical angle before we write our report. Tell us what he thinks about those views, because for me, I'm persuaded to think that you're bringing this law in bad faith. Convince me that you're acting in good faith, and then I'll give you a good law.
No, I think for me, Honorable Chair, I've told you what I think. You may not have to let money come in and then deal with it after. But that I leave to you. That's what we thought. We thought it was not wise. We thought it was important to curtail. But what I need to tell you is that this law is not replacing other laws. This law is creating a category of persons to be addressed under this law. For me, what you want to do, I don't know how far more you would put the application of the law. Maybe we should put another clause 3, a clause 4, and say, for further avoidance of doubt. Because we have put for avoidance of doubt.
For further avoidance.
For further avoidance of doubt and additional avoidance of doubt. The people who are not agents of foreigners will not be required to go to the minister. So,
and you know why there is doubt to be avoided? It's because you cannot be trusted.
Okay, I think we are making headway.
well,
Honorable,
at least,
I'll give you a chance, Honorable.
my appointing authority was trusted enough to be elected. So,
okay, Honorable Fox.
Honorable Chair, I want to invite the Attorney General to look at clause 28. 28 2A to C. This is in reference to Ssegona's defenses.
Knowingly, a person who...
The drafting here seemed to have captured some defenses. So can you replicate this when you are dealing with all the other clauses that create crimes?
we are happy to receive the thing. We thought they were clear, but if they are not clear, we'll be happy to look at the proposals of the committee on how to make it clear.
How to make it clearer.
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Olanyah is saying the law is targeting very few people. Of course, the 50 million Ugandans are not all criminals. For example, we have the law on murder. It's not targeting all the 50...
Including Olanyah himself.
Yeah.
He's not.
For you, we are not targeting you. But if you happen to do these things... But you see, the law is supposed to deal with a particular problem. And the problem is not for everyone. So not all Ugandans do this. And actually, the law also may deter others from doing it. So, yes, it is targeting a few people, and it will...
The title of Honorable Olanyah's PhD thesis is How to Scare the Balalo by Undressing.
Honorable Chiwanuka said these are countries that are well known, have said it. No country in Africa is correct. We haven't found any. He did refer me to clause 4 and said that working for foreigners, there's a bit of confusion there, I think, with working for a foreign company and working for an agent of a foreigner. The agent of a foreigner must fall under 2.2 in order for you to become an agent of a foreigner. But working for a foreign company in itself does not make you a foreigner.
Working for
Now,
a foreign company and earning beyond 400 million
is not
you are not
within
criminal
the at all.
Yes. Thank
You're
you.
working for a foreign company, working in a foreign country, receiving money from a foreign country is not a problem. But receiving money from a foreign country or a foreign person or a foreign entity for purposes of clause 2.2, that's the problem. Therein lies the problem.
Okay.
Now, lastly, we talked about mutual interest. Yes, if two countries share the same interest, we will not be interested in what the other country's interest is, we will be interested in what Uganda's interest is. So, for example, if both countries support education and you're getting money for education, we will not talk about the foreign interest of your funder working for education. We say Uganda supports education and therefore it is not a foreign. So where the interests and the policies align, there will be no problem. So colleagues, I thank you and I hope and pray that you support the principle behind this bill. Where you think that there are areas that need to be clarified, clarify them. Please, let us not say today that it's okay to receive any money at whatever cost. Because this is our country and we need to self-determine what we need to do here.
There's one point that I did not respond to. Right now, Attorney General, I would like you to clarify on the countries giving you support to IPOD.
Clause 2.2. Clause 2.2. Was IPOD giving us money, engaging in political activities for the interest of that foreign country? If so, that is a problem. But I don't think so, because they were doing it for the interest of our country.
Answered.
Thank you.
Okay, honorable colleagues, I think we allow the learned
information on Mr. Museveni. Can I give you information?
No,
information allowed.
Pardon?
Is Honorable Museveni.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Yoweri Museveni.
Excuse me.
To identify the gaps. For example, you will not find any single law in this country, in all the laws that you have mentioned, which says that if you promote a foreign policy in Uganda, it's wrong. There is no such law. So yes, you could say amend the various laws. We took the policy direction of saying, no, let's write a standalone law. So we don't have any law that's dealing with this particular aspect. Honorable Zijan, yes, you actually raised an important question, and I want to spend some time on this because I think this is where the crux of the matter is. Honorable Zijan says you have a CSO in a particular place which is taking care of orphans, and that aspect resonates well with a foreign funder. Now we are saying, does that person need to register? My simple answer is a no, because it is part of our policy statement. It's part of our constitutional requirement to take care of the indigent and the orphans and etc. So if the NGO or the CSO, its business is taking care of orphans, that is a policy of Uganda, and that one can be supported by anyone. So that's not an agent of a foreigner. So, and I think that's why it's important for us to look at clause 2.2. Now, and I think what we are saying here is that all the CSOs can do whatever they want to do. But what they must be doing is supporting a policy that exists in the country. And therefore, it is incumbent upon us to consistently and openly, for example, take out the National Development Plan. That sets out the policy of government, sets out the plan of government, talks about all the things that government wants to do. And therefore, if you have a CSO which is plugging into that, that's not an agent of a foreigner. even if in another foreign country there is a requirement, rather a policy to take care of orphans, it is not a foreign policy because it is already our policy. So what I'm saying, once the cause is aligned with government policy and government plan and is getting funding for that, that person is not an agent of a foreigner and does not need to get any registration. Honorable Sauda, yes, there could be corruption.
Mr. Chairman, let me get clarification on that. That point you mentioned is very important. You stated clearly that so long as it aligns with our policy, and one of the policies of Uganda is promotion